I don't know what's going on with this camera, but it's like it's set on this 20-minute timer, and I just cannot find a way of getting that thing off as far as recording. So the practice of living consciously. So I just talked about that. The next pillar is the practice of self-acceptance, right? Accepting yourself. I put the practice of self-acceptance means to always love myself. It means to constantly be in tune with the ultimate feeling I desire to have for my life's work and consistently take the conscious action to achieve it. So always loving me, you know, especially being females. It's hard, man. I love my sisters, but one thing I do know is that when a woman do not grow up, a young lady do not grow up with her father, it creates a whole nother dynamic of situation. And I know a lot of women may say, I grew up with my father and I'm cool. But one thing I do know is a young lady's first relationship is with her father. You see what I'm saying? And typically in life what happens is that when they don't grow up with their father, they're out in the world trying to get acceptance from somebody that don't want to give them what they're desiring. Right? So they're trying to get from this man that's calling them out of their name. You know, we're going to talk about when we talk about need. Exactly, right? They seen mama get called out of her name. You know, it's acceptable behavior. And then they turn around and say, I love you. My question is, since when has love called a woman a bitch? You see what I'm saying? Exactly. See, we got this false sense of love, in my opinion, going on. And that's not love. Because love encourages, love builds, love inspires. Love grows. Love does not degrade. Love does not divide. Love does not separate. It does not do these things. Because either a person do love or they don't. And that's what the understanding we got to come to. Right? So I put the practice of self-acceptance. Let's go down. The practice of self-responsibility. I recall an old saying, if it's to be or exist, then it's up to me to create it. I am a creator of my experience. I am the creator of my experience. Self-responsibility means to think. It means to consistently think the right thoughts, which creates the right beliefs, which creates the right actions, which creates the right results, which creates my reality or my feeling. For real. When you know that, you already won. You already won. If you honestly know in your heart that whatever you think determines what you believe, it determines what you do, it determines what you have, you know all you gotta do is do what? Think the right things. And refuse to allow anything negative to interfere with that. But when I say refuse, that means cutting some people off. Yes, it means changing your environment. It means reading. It means researching. It means doing schoolwork. It means doing whatever it is you have to do to create the person that you see yourself being in your mind. Progress. See, the whole world was designed to grow. And do you know what hurt people the most? When they're not growing. When we're not growing, we typically say that we typically feel like we have no control over our lives, right?
That's not true.
And it's not true. So we tend to go get that control to other people. We say, if you didn't do this, then my life will. If you did do this, then my life will be better. Come on, you participated. You participated. Blame yourself. Because in that equation, I can't change you, but I can change me. You understand? And whatever reality I want, I have the ability to create it. That's the reason we had the conversation earlier. I know it's expensive to live out here. I know it. Trust me, I've done the work. In my class, in my master's classes, I told you guys, we did the research. There is not one place in America that a person can make minimum wage and live on their own affordably. Not one place. Now, how did we get that bad? That is and that is the clear reason why poverty exists. Does that make sense? That they will allow somebody to charge for a property more than what people get paid. Does that make sense, everybody? It's deep. Alright, so let's move on. So we can get out for a break and then we're going to come back and what we got to do. Self-assertiveness is the glue that holds self-assertiveness is the glue that holds my mental world together. I live by the words, 1 ounce of doubt and you are out. Self-assertiveness means faith in my ability to consistently decide and take the right actions every time. I have faith in my ability to make a decision. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, let's go down. Living purposefully. I was created. I put this right here. I said I was created for the purpose of showing and demonstrating to others who they were created to be and how to become it. And that was the issue. A lot of people were saying that you're this, Anthony. You're going to be great, Anthony. You're going to make it, Anthony. But nobody was showing Anthony how to become that very thing in which they were saying. Nobody showed me. So here I am today showing others, right? It says, so that they can live their life and their purpose. We were put on the earth, a place with unlimited resources to be fruitful and to multiply. No one was put here to fail. No one was put here to fail. It says, what's good for the earth? It says, I put right here, I said, what's good for the earth, the earth, what is good? All right, let me see what's good. I put, what good is the earth without people to inhabit it? Let me go and paraphrase. I gotta fix that. So what good is this earth without people on it that's prospering? I was just sitting out in my car and I was looking out here and I was thinking about some of the pain that my people are suffering, and this just doesn't make any sense. We were not put here, man, to experience this like this. I do not believe it, and nobody's gonna force me into believing that. We were not put here to suffer. We was not put here to be in pain. We was not put here to have to watch our backs because this brother can't get a job and he done resorted to robbing people. Yeah. We weren't put here for that. You know how I know? Because it's not happening to everybody the way it's happening to us. It tells you everything you need to know. Does that make sense?
I feel like if Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King can make it happen, we can make it happen.
Absolutely. Come on now, they had some serious headhunters back then. Now they're a little bit more sneaky about their headhunt now because there are little consequences. Back then there was no consequences. Zero. As a matter of fact, a man can get arrested, taken to jail, and they'll open the jail up and let the people come in and get it. You get me? So there's a lot going on. And to your point, if it could be done then, it could be done now. Let me ask this question. What was the difference between them and people that you see now?
They didn't give up. They kept fighting.
He said, I have a dream.
Amen.
I have a vision. I have something else that I'm looking at that's better than my current circumstance. That's the reason we're doing vision boards today. So you have a vision. You have something that you can focus on that's greater than your current circumstance.
You know, like when I was coming up, you had older people, they would tell you what to do right, and now it's like the older people encouraging the younger people to do wrong, that they with it.
Exactly.
Even Obama said I can.
Exactly, right? That when the Warriors start saying we believe, change the whole dynamic of the team. But to your point, you're right. There isn't no elders stepping up taking that position. Remember we talked a few weeks back and we had that conversation? And one of the things I shared then, I'm going to share now, because each and every one of us is going to become an elder one day, right? And if we don't like what we see, then fix it. We are in a position to fix it. We're in a position to do something better. I can't stand where family is right now. This is not even a family anymore. People don't backbite, cuss, and disrespect one another. It didn't go on like that when I was coming up. Exactly. Exactly. They're looking at us, right? And we can decide to sit in the situation or we can decide to do something about it. The choice is ours. I said earlier, I'm fighting to create a world where we don't backbite, where we don't fuss, where we don't destroy one another. We lift one another up and build one another. What's good for the people is what's good for society. It's not what's good for society, it's good for the people. That's bull crap. Because if I'm creating something that's going to cause your demise, then I shouldn't create that thing. Does that make sense? I'm putting into the world something that's going to hurt you. And they say that the benefit outweighs the risk. That's BS within itself. How did opioids get created? How are these people dying? Somebody made that crack. And they knew it was jacked up when they made it.
And just like when they brought crack to Oakland,
they knew exactly what they was doing. How when Ricky Ross did when he did his documentary, he stated on tape in front of everybody, he was working directly for the CIA. And they was funding a war overseas, and they used our people, our folks. This is what happened to our people. You see what I'm saying? This is real talk. It is what it is. So the reason why I bring these things up is because we're in a position to do something about it. We're in a position to say, focus on what it is that we want, what it is that we desire to bring about change. To bring about the change that we want. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so the practice of personal integrity, I put right here, consistently thinking, believing, and doing what is in the best interest of the earth or nature. And what do I mean by that? Because what's in the best position for the earth and nature is what's in the best position of the people. Does that make sense? Because if I'm fighting to preserve the place that gives me life, then I'm going to be returned life. This earth gives us life. If this whole system shuts down, we will all die.
Because the system wants us to fail, so, we were still slaves to the system.
Exactly.
So I feel like we gotta fight because they want us to fail the system.
That's the thing. But being a slave to the system is a belief system. Because see, racism cannot exist unless you believe it exists and it affects you that way. Does that make sense? That's just the truth. And the moment I got to a point and I understood that, man, that's just a belief system, and I don't believe it, it has not affected me. It affects my people, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that it's not some forces against us, but I'm saying it's not in a position where it's stopping me. The old belief system used to be every time I try, the man holds me down. And every person that gave up that belief system went on to do greater things, didn't they? Every single person, because it's all a belief system. If I can get you to believe that if you try, you're going to fail, then you're going to fail. And the only person that's setting you up to fail is you, because what's going to happen is you're going to look for reasons that it's not going to work out. I knew they would. And what we say, I knew they was going to do that. If you knew they was going to do it, then you already programmed that had a conversation in your mind that they was going to do it. So what was they focusing on? Not getting what it is that they say they desire. If I'm focused on not getting it, you see what I'm saying? How many times when we knew that there was an opportunity for us, but we was focused on the bad stuff and we didn't even take advantage of it? Does that make sense to everybody? And then the practice of personal success. Personal success means to identify and pursue a worthy idea within the realm of my purpose. That's what it means. Say it again. Yeah, I'll just recap it real quick. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'll just recap it real quick because there were some folks that wasn't here.
Okay, no worries.
We got 8:05. I'm going to do something real quick, then we're going to take a break. I'm going to do a quick assessment. We're going to do a communication assessment. Very easy to do. We're going to run through it together. There we go.
You want me to open it? You want this one?
There you go. Can you pass it down?
Oh, I thought it was two.
It is 2 pages. Okay, so you're going to answer these questions as we go on. I'm going to read the instructions in 1 second.
Shut the front door. You did it.
All right.
Give it to me.
Alright, so let's do the assessment real quick. So basically it says, in each of the following, read A, B, and C. Then mark the one that best describes your communication style, okay? Alright, so let's start with the first one. It says, when conversing with others, I usually do most of the talking. A. B. I usually let others do most of the talking. Or C. I try to equalize my participation in the conversation. Okay. Alright, the next one. Okay, when I first meet someone, I wait for the other person to make the introduction first. I introduce myself, smile, and offer a handshake. Or C, I hug the person. Alright, number 3. I usually warm up new conversations with small talk. B, avoid small talk and jump into the important matters? Or C, avoid starting conversations?
A.
Number 4, don't say the answers out loud. The other people like, yeah, A sound better. Number 4, I make an effort to remember and use people's names.